shit about that. Anyway, welcome back to NCW. I am your host, Neo Extreme, and tonight we have a stacked card for episode 2 of Neo Chaos Wrestling. We have the new NCW Intercontinental Champion versus one of the qualified contenders for the world title. Kenny Omega versus Alexander L. Davidson to start off the show. Who's going to win that one? We don't know. But more Kenny Omega, the better. And then we have 3 more qualifying matches that I will tell you about very shortly. After this opening. Love that music. Alright, that's enough of that. The beautiful NCW arena. I have not seen you in a couple of days. We have a stacked crowd. Where are we? We are currently in Nashville, Tennessee. Sup, Dixie? This is how you run a real fucking company. A real wrestling company. But TNA's doing good with the addition of Broken Matt Hardy. But yeah, like I said, Kenny Omega versus Alexander L. Davidson. The second match, we have the debut of Buddy Andrews versus Jack Gallagher, the gentleman from the Cruiserweight Classic. And then we have the 4th qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber at our first pay-per-view. We have Andy Cox versus Taz. And then our 5th qualifying match, we have Ken Snow versus Ethan. And then we have another first round match between Kelly Kelly and Shannon York. Winner will take on Akira Ray next week. And then we have our main event. We have Aaron Crimson versus Rey Mysterio to take that final spot inside the Elimination Chamber for the NCW World Championship. Now let's get this show on the road. After the long, super long opening. But this should be a good match. Both of these men won last week. And we will see the Intercontinental Champion take on the prodigy of wrestling, Alexander Leonardo Davidson. My bad. This should be a really good match. Let's hope it does not disappoint. Also, if you're watching this before you're watching episode 1, then you should go back and watch episode 1 so you know what I'm talking about, because Alexander L. Davidson defeated Crispo to get into the Elimination Chamber in a few weeks, or a few weeks in the game. At least 2 weeks? 2.5? I don't know. And then Kenny Omega won a fatal 4-way with Rob Van Dam, Jushin Thunder Liger, and Brian Kendrick to become the first ever NCW Intercontinental Champion. If you want to know what parts those matches happened, Alexander L. Davidson was in part 1, Kenny Omega was in part 6. And here we go with the entrances. There's the belts. around the champion. Look at it. It's a beautiful belt. NCW IC champion, Kenny Omega. The hand sign for the elite. 4 fingers makes the elite. Or is it 3? I don't know. Well, like, the addition of Adam Cole, you'd imagine it would be 4. Alexander Leonardo Davidson. I mean, in a few weeks, this man could be holding that world championship. Maybe this could be a world title match somewhere down the line. Maybe if Alexander wins tonight and loses at the pay-per-view, he could have an intercontinental title match sitting up, waiting for him. Then again, if he wins the Elimination Chamber, but loses tonight, Kenny Omega could have that world title opportunity somewhere down the line. After all, he's got claims he did beat the first ever champion before he became champion. But sucky thing is about the Elimination Chamber, you don't get the entrances, which would have been good. Alright, here we go. Omega versus Davidson. And Omega started with a huge backbreaker, and then follows up with a big shooting star. Alexander now getting back to his feet here is Kenny Omega. Alexander tried to grab him, but Kenny Omega with the kick and then the overhead suplex before lifting him up. But Alexander able to counter him with a shoulder barge. Now just gloating with a boot to the face. Before giving Kenny Omega 2 good stomps to 21 to his belly. But Kenny Omega getting up and hitting him with one of his high knees. After all, if he hits you with enough of those high knees, he's going to rock you hard enough for that one-winged angel. And as we saw last week, Jushin Thunder Liger was beaten by that move. But Kenny Omega here looking to go high. There's a big double drop kick. Sitting his opponent up, now working at a nerve hold on his neck, trying to make him lose all feeling in his arms before he just ruthlessly decides to choke him before going for that first cover. The pin 1, 2, and Alexander kicking out at a 2 count. Kenny Omega now lifting Alexander up, but Alexander with a reversal over the shoulder now. Back to stomping him in the face and gloating. Kenny Omega has dominated most of this match so far, but Alexander still thinks that it's good to gloat against the ICW Intercontinental Champion. No, NCW. But Kenny Omega with a high knee, but he only got a 2 count off that. Alexander playing possum before pulling his opponent down with an arm drag before stomping his opponent's arm into the ground. Now deciding to go high risk himself here, going for a frog splash. Kenny Omega back on his feet, lifting his opponent up here. Is he going for his one-winged angel? No. He's going for a modified version of it, in a way. A package power bomb of sort. Before going for that pinfall. 1, 2, Alexander kicking out. That's not quite the one-winged angel. Kenny Omega whipping Alexander into the corner here as he decides to whip him to the next other corner before hitting him with a running backsplash and then a low drop kick into the royal regions of Alexander before Alexander taking offense to that with a huge punch to the gut and a huge one-leg drop kick to put Kenny Omega down. And now payback to bitches. As he sets up for the super kick, drilling Kenny Omega in the face before dragging him back to the middle of the ring. Going for his trademark golden swing here. We've seen him do this in the past before when he's been in that ring. Going for the cover here. Referee's down 1, 2, but Kenny Omega kicking out after the golden swing. Not enough to put Kenny Omega away tonight so far. Kenny Omega, however, recovering from that swing, now showboating to the crowd as his opponent is on the ground before hitting him with a kick to make sure he stays on the ground. Lifting him up, Kenny Omega pulls him to the middle of the ring before placing him on his shoulders before rolling through with a rolling senton. Now Kenny Omega's setting up his opponent here. Big running knee puts him on the ground. Now Kenny Omega looking to set him up possibly for that one-winged angel. Big right hand now putting Alexander on his shoulder, flipping him over, and there it is, a one-winged angel. Could this be it, ladies and gentlemen? 1, 2, oh no, the kick out. Alexander just kicking out of the one-winged angel. Kenny Omega going high risk now. Begging his opponent to get back to his feet here. Alexander slowly recovering after that one-winged angel, but he manages to get out of the way of that big double drop kick. What's he seem to be doing here? Alexander putting Kenny Omega on that top rope. Before setting him up, looked like he was going for a big modified jawbreaker, but Kenny Omega sliding out of it and throwing Alexander into the ground here. It was a shock that Kenny Omega could get out of a position like that. Thought he was going to get his jaw jacked, but Kenny Omega with a huge Golden Star powerbomb from his old tag team partner Kota Ibushi, now begging his opponent to get to his feet, but Kenny Omega just not waiting. Now he's just flipping his opponent around before going for a big stomp to the midsection, now followed up with a moonsault. Now Kenny Omega going to the outside of the ring, begging his opponent to stand up. What could he be finding here? But Alexander could be too close for anything to happen. Kenny Omega trying a double dropkick, but missing this time as Alexander grabs his opponent, now goes behind before hooking him for chicken wing crossface. Trying to get Kenny Omega to tap out here, but one stomp and an elbow later and Kenny Omega has gotten out of it. Now Kenny Omega whipping his opponent into the corner before kicking him down. Now dragging him out, but Alexander able to counter him. Alexander here grabbing the arms and hooking him around the neck before going in for a straight jacket neck breaker before going for the pinfall. 1, but only a 1 count as Kenny Omega powers his way out of this. Alexander begging his opponent to get up. These two men have been beating the living hell out of each other, but Kenny Omega with a huge body blow before turning him around. Oh, big tiger suplex. Could that be it? No, rope break. Kenny Omega seemingly pulled that out of nowhere. Now he's setting up Alexander again, possibly for a second one-winged angel, but no. Alexander with the counter. Before grabbing Kenny Omega by the head and hitting him with a corkscrew neck breaker. Now just choking the life out of the Intercontinental Champion here before hitting him with a stomp to the knee. Oh, Alexander trying to lift up Kenny Omega, but Kenny Omega not letting him get that far with a kick to the head before whipping his opponent into the corner. Kenny Omega trying something, but big bridging suplex by Alexander before lifting him up with raw power into a brain buster. And now deciding he's got the chance, he's going to use it to showboat. Leaning across that top rope like he owns the ring. Kenny Omega trying to get up, but Alexander just throwing him back and head first into the ground. Whipping him with force, but Kenny Omega able to get back to his feet with a big jawbreaker, trying for his high knee again, but Alexander going in for a schoolboy roll-up, and that's the 3 count. Alexander has defeated the Intercontinental Champion, building momentum into his title match in a few weeks for that NCW heavyweight title. It was a back and forth match here. Big high knee from Kenny Omega. But Alexander able to kick out here. And then here we see the golden super kick. And then the giant swing here. But Kenny Omega able to kick out of both of those. Alexander able to kick out of a one-winged angel. However, what won the match was a roll-up. A schoolboy roll-up here, trying for his high knee but being caught. The referee counting to 3. But from the looks of things, I thought Kenny Omega kicked out there. But here is your winner with another win on his resume against a high-quality opponent. Oh, here's a dollar bill. Showing it to the crowd before. He wouldn't even stoop this low, would he? Kenny Omega gave him a good match. But here he goes, putting that dollar bill in the mouth of Kenny Omega. Alexander, the golden standard, the total package. Even if he is an asshole.